Here are the first half stats.
First quarter stats. The Gators dominating running game, also getting the ball in the air, total 153 yards. When you have the ball, you're able to get the ball down the field and stack that yardage up.
3rd and 9 as Kerwin Bell again looks to throw, and he's under a lot of pressure, brought down way behind the line of scrimmage. Isaac Williams, 45, a senior from Sanford, Florida, comes in to take Bell down behind the line of scrimmage, and that means the Gators will have to kick out of there.
Just a nice effort by Isaac Williams. There wasn't really a breakdown right there. Kerwin could not find a receiver open, and Florida State was putting the pressure up front and covering well on the play and was able to come up with a sack.
Waiting for the snap is Ray Criswell, the punter from Orange Park, Florida, a senior, as he kicks it off and gets off a high one. Deion Sanders takes it at the 33, the 35, the 40, at the 45, cuts out at the 50-yard line. He's across the 40-yard line, inside the 35, and still on his feet, and they get him at the 33-yard line. But a great return for Deion Sanders, cornerback for the Florida State University Seminoles. And Reggie Corlew, 44, brought him down for the Gators.
North Fort Myers High School, Deion Sanders. He was drafted to play baseball. He can stuff a basketball in the rim anytime he wants to, and he's got great football ability. Look at him in the open field, putting a little wrinkle on right there. Just a tremendous natural athlete. I saw this young man play in the Florida-Georgia High School All-Star game, and you could tell he was a star from the first day I saw him.
1st and 10 at the 33-yard line now for FSU. This is their best field position of the afternoon. Chip Ferguson, the quarterback, pitches. The pitch going to Tony Smith, and Smith is hit and hit hard by the Gator defense as they swarm him down right at the line of scrimmage. First in, Ron Moten. The boot by Criswell was 45 yards and the return 34.
Well, they like to pitch the ball to the tailback, and there's Tony Smith getting on the outside. Alonzo Mitz, Leon Pennington coming up with a tackle. The Noles need to take advantage of this field position. They got to get on the board. That's what they're thinking. We got to get on the board now that we penetrated Gator territory.
2nd and 11 at the 34-yard line as the Gator defense takes a long look at him and puts the pressure on. And here is Ferguson rolling to throw, and he throws, and it is incomplete. Getting hit as he touched the ball was the tight end, Pat Carter, and it was Curtis Stacy, the left corner man, the sophomore from Bronson, Florida, who really put a hit on him.
You're talking about courage. Big Pat Carter, the tight end, weighs 255 pounds. Ferguson's going to deliver a strike, but Curtis Stacy doesn't care about the collision. He's going to make the hit, knocks the ball loose. Just a nice play by the cornerback, Curtis Stacy. A lot of courage by that young man.
That brings up 3rd down 11 on the 34-yard line now for FSU. Florida now with a 4-down lineman as they go to the nickel, and Ferguson gives off on the draw to Tony Smith, and Tony Smith is brought down after about 2 yards. Pennington and Arthur White combining on him to stop him.
Leon Pennington, again, that senior leadership we're talking about from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Leon Pennington just making a big hit on Tony Smith.
Here's the excellent field goal kicker now for the Florida State University Seminoles, Derek Schmidt, and the snap will come from Marty Riggs. Kirk Coker, number 11, will be the holder.
The leading freshman place kicker in the country last year with the Noles from Riverview High School in Sarasota, Florida.
It's from the 37, a 47-yard attempt as he puts his foot into it, and it is not good. So the Gators take over the football as Schmidt's field goal attempt is not good. The Florida defense, the magnificent 11 this afternoon.
Yeah, you know the Noles are shaking their head on the sideline. They cannot believe they've gotten off to such a poor start. The Gators have had that emotion in the first quarter, and now Schmidt, who, as we had mentioned, is one of the best kickers in the country, is not able to deliver the field goal.
The winning attitude starts with individual performance combined with a strong team morale. Mid-State Federal Savings and Loan admires this spirit and is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Most Valuable Player of the Game award, which will be announced at the conclusion of today's game. 1st and 10 at the 31 for the Gators. They're in their own territory. Neal, 21, the motion man behind Kerwin Bell, the quarterback, throws out in the flat, and he's got Brett Wickman, and Wickman driven out of bounds in front of the FSU bench at the 36-yard line, and taking him out, Garth Jacks and Martin Mayhew.
Martin Mayhew doing a nice job coming up and covering Wickman on that quick screen. That was a quick screen. Tried to get Wickman isolated out there in the flat, and that was a nice play. Picked up 6 yards.
Wickman, a junior from here in Gainesville, Florida, an excellent possession receiver, very sure hands. 2nd and 5 at the 36-yard line now, with the ball on the far side hash mark for the Gators with the eye. Bell's give off is going to go to Anderson, rips off the right side. He's got the first down. Out of bounds in front of the FSU bench at the 43-yard line or 44-yard line is where they mark it down. So Neil Anderson picks up some more yardage, and Tracy Sanders, the free safety, takes him out.
Well, the Gators are dominating at the point of attack. Big Jeff Zimmerman doing a nice job. Jimmy Davis, Frank McCarthy, the center. Greg Cleveland seeing action again, number 64 at the tackle position. Big David Williams, a freshman from Lakeland, just doing a great job up front for that Gator offensive unit.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line for the Florida Gators.
It's like a checkoff, Jim.
That's what it, audible out. Bell throws out in the flat, complete to Wickman. He's going to be close to a first down. Martin Mayhew again there for FSU, but a nice catch by Wickman. And it looks like, well, I'm not going to call it ahead of time. I've done that before and been wrong. I know that shocks you to hear that I've been wrong before, but every once in a while I am, so I'm going to hold off and let the officials call this one.
That's going to be very close. We saw Kerwin Bell making the checkoff right there. He saw Wickman could pick up a quick 5 or 6 yards, so he went right to him. That's a very intelligent play by the sophomore quarterback.
It's hard to imagine that Bell is a sophomore because he's so poised and cool under pressure.
Cool breeze Bell.
It wasn't good for the first down, so that brings up 2nd down, less than a yard. The ball at the 46-yard line, and getting the call is Neil Anderson, and he's got the first down.
Paul McGowan doing a nice job, number 38 from the inside linebacker position, filling the hole, but Neil Anderson was able to leap over him and pick up the first down.
So the Gators pick up another first down, keep possession of the football, keep their drive going, and they sit on a 14-0 lead. 2 touchdowns by Neil Anderson, and FSU's lone attempt at the board came on a field goal attempt from 47 yards away by Schmidt, which was not good.
Hard to believe he's got 76 yards midway through the second quarter, isn't it?
1st and 10 at the 44. The pitch goes to John L. Williams, and Williams is hit hard by the FSU defense just as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Fred Jones, the first guy to greet him, along with Stanley Scott. Jones from Miami and Scott from Brandon, Florida, a little ways outside of Tampa. Anthony Williams, 36, checks in. John L. Williams, 22, checks out as we look at Bobby Bowden on the far side. His son Terry is a head coach at Salem College in West Virginia and has done an excellent job.
It's up in West Virginia, right?
Yep, I've got a daughter there. 2nd and 10 at the 44-yard line as Kerwin Bell rolls out, throws, and it is complete to the 30-yard line. A nice reception by Ricky Natale. And FSU's corner man is pretty upset about it. That's Martin Mayhew because he doesn't think it's a reception.
Well, he thought he knocked the ball loose, but again, we got to mention that Ricky Natale was able to come up with the reception because Kerwin Bell was all alone. Look at Kerwin Bell. Look at the time he has. Look at Jimmy Davis fighting off Isaac Williams up front. Now, the turf cannot make you fumble the ball. Obviously, you have to have control when you hit it, and it looked like Ricky did on that play.
It was a clean reception, good call by the officials. Double reverse. Ray McDonald turns up field. He's inside at the 25-yard line, still on his feet, and down to the 20-yard line. He's going to be close to another first down. Ray McDonald on the double reverse goes to the right side and really threaded through the traffic. Let's take a look at it as Anderson hands off to McDonald.
And he's got that big, powerful blocker, Kerwin Bell, out in front of him. And Kerwin ducks his head and delivers an elbow and eats some turf on the way down. But it was a nice play. A lot of courage by Ray McDonald, continuing to fight and struggle forward for the first down. There's Greg Cleveland back in action. We're glad to see him healthy and playing again.
Kerwin 7 for 9 for 96 yards this afternoon. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. The pitch goes to John L. Williams, and he is hit at the line of scrimmage and brought down. FSU's defense sniffed that one out. Paul McGowan again makes the hit, a weak side linebacker. Although there's nothing weak looking about him.
He's a strong kid. I think he, when he was at Winter Park High School, he won the 4A high school weightlifting championship in his weight class.
First downs for FSU 1 this afternoon, for Florida 12.
Well, again, Bobby Bowden, we know he's shaking his head over there on the sideline. He just can't believe that his team's got off to such a poor start. The Gators again are threatening. 2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line, and the give-off again goes to John L. Williams, but FSU's defense fills the hole right there, and they bring him down because they were right there. Felton Hayes, a freshman linebacker from Brandon, makes the hit, getting some help there too from Gerald Nichols and Garth Jack. So they all combine on that one and bring him down. That's a short gain to the 19-yard line, but that was a tough yard for John L. Williams. So that brings up 3rd down. Yeah, the Noles doing a real nice job right here, circling the wagons and tightening up their defense and forcing the Gators into a 3rd and long situation. Let's see if Kerwin Bell has the time or if the Noles can put the pressure on him.
Bell with a split backfield behind him, and the Noles with 4 down linemen. Bell dropping, and he's under a lot of pressure and is brought down at the 27-yard line. Darrell Gray, a senior from Lake Wales, Florida, the outside linebacker, came blitzing through and made that hit on Kerwin Bell, so that brings up the field goal try.
Well, the Noles have great speed on the outside, as do the Gators on defense, and they were able to force with that outside pass rush. Kerwin Bell had to step up, and Gray was able to come up with a sack. That was just a fine effort by that Seminole defense.
The kick is going to come from the 34, so it'll be a 44-yard attempt by Jeff Dawson. The hold from Ray Criswell. It looks good. Let's see what they give it. They say no. It's off to the right side.
Well, he had the distance. It was just off to the right.
Tough to look at it through the angle. And so it falls, and FSU takes over the football. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Seminoles.
You cannot overstate emotion in this great rivalry. Right now, the Gators had a tremendous edge in the 1st quarter. The beginning of the 2nd quarter, the Gators had an edge in emotion. Right now, the Noles have a chance to get their act together. Their defense just did a super job of stopping the Gators, preventing a score. And now let's see if that Nole offense can get some emotion on their side. So far, the Gators have dominated.
Ferguson at the quarterback spot, and Ferguson's give. No, he fakes it beautifully and throws deep out into the flat, and it is incomplete. And there's a flag on the play. Hassan Jones was the intended receiver, and he was hit by one of the Gators over there. Looked like it was Adrian White, number 2, and they dropped the flag. White and Jarvis Williams were there, and now the officials are talking, and we'll see how the call is going to go. There was a flag dropped. Personal foul against the University of Florida, and so that's going to give the Seminoles an excellent advantage. Watch now as Ferguson throws, and Hassan Jones goes up high, and there's the hit after he had gone up and come down.
Yeah, Jarvis Williams had perfect coverage, and Adrian White just came over and delivered a late hit along the sideline, and it was obvious penalty.
So the advance is to the 43-yard line because of the penalty for FSU. So it'll be 1st down for the Seminoles.
Tom Petty, the tight end, on the sideline. That hurts. Anytime you get a penalty, that's just literally a gift. And now the Noles have got even better field position. They're moving out on their own 43-yard line right now.
Holloman and Ross are the backs who will be behind Chip Ferguson, the freshman quarterback. Penalties for FSU, 2 for 15. Florida, 4 for 55 this afternoon. Ferguson looks at the Gator defense and pitches. The pitch goes to Keith Ross, coming to the near side, gets across the midfield stripe, and makes a nice carry across the 45 to the 44 before Alonzo Johnson brings him down.
Keith Ross played some professional baseball before he tried college football. He's from Newberry, same high school Ricky Natil attended. This kid's got a lot of speed. He's got the ability to get 200 yards in one Saturday afternoon. the cut up. Alonzo Johnson makes a dive for him, but Ross look at the low center of gravity, the great balance. He proceeds on down the field, and the Noles are inside the Gator 45-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Chip Ferguson chants the signals and looks at the Gator defense. Ferguson pitches. The pitch again goes to Ross, coming to the near side, and he's stacked up as he hits the 40-yard line. Short gain on the carry for Ross and the Seminoles. 6 minutes and 38 seconds to play in the second quarter, and the Gators lead Florida State 14-0.
Well, you don't get that great yardage from the tailback position without help up front. And Jamie Dukes, number 64, is an All-American. The Seminoles have a great offensive guard. He's from the same high school, Orlando Evans, that Jeff Zimmerman, Florida's All-American, is from.
2nd and 6 at the 40-yard line now for the Seminoles, and the give-off goes to Keith Ross again, and he's drilled behind the line of scrimmage. Getting in to bring him down was Ricky Knight, the strong side safety on the blitz as he takes him down behind the line. Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue has a great offer. You get a free Gator Coca-Cola collector's bottle with the purchase of any barbecue plate and a Coke, available while supplies last at participating Sonny's Florida locations, as we looked at the play again.
And an awesome block by Big Pat Tomberlin, number 72, a 310-pound freshman offensive guard for the Noles. He just rolled over on his block right there. That was that counter sweep that the Gators used so successfully.
3rd and 6 now for FSU. Ferguson throws, and it is intercepted by Florida as it's tipped into the air. And picking it off is Patrick Miller, and he's at the 21-yard line. A big play, and a flag on the play, too. And it looks like the flag is going to come right in front of the Florida sideline. We'll see what that call is in a minute. But anyway, the ball, meanwhile, is back at the 21-yard line. A clip being called. And it's against Florida.
Well, Chip Ferguson has his tight end, Pat Carter, open, but he just puts a little bit too much heat on the ball. Pat Carter cannot come up with the catch. The ball bounces in the air, and Patrick Miller, who has tremendous athletic ability, comes up with the interception. Now, let's see if we can pick up the clip, but it's going to force the Gators back towards their own goal line. But Patrick Miller coming up with a big turnover.
So that gives Florida the football, 1st and 10 at their own 10-yard line. There's Patrick Miller.
That's one of the seniors, Panama City, Florida. That senior leadership we were talking about.
He came from about 7 yards off the ball when it was tipped into the air to pick it up.
And the thing about Patrick Miller, he's probably the 4th or 5th fastest player on the Gator roster, and he's a linebacker. That's incredible.
Here they come, Kerwin Bell, as you look at the end zone shot. Frank McCarthy is the center, and he will be up over the football, a junior from Lighthouse Point. I formation as Bell takes the football and gives off to Neil Anderson, who is to the 17-yard line before he fumbles on the play. Let's see if they blew the whistle, though, before the ball squirted out. No.
Yeah, they're going to call the ball down. The official actually blew the whistle and started walking away from the play. Watch Neil Anderson. Jeff Zimmerman making the block. He's got a little bit of room right there.
It was a good call because actually what happened is the ball squirted out after he was already down, so the play was over. Great. 2nd and 15 at the 17-yard line, and the give-off goes to John L. Williams, tries it on the right side, hits to the 19-yard line for 2 before he stacked up. 4 minutes and 35 seconds to play in the first half, and Florida sits on a 14-0 lead. Neil Anderson, 2 touchdowns this afternoon, number 27. There you see Rural Express, 22 and 27.
Control that the Gators have this afternoon continues to eat that clock up. The first half is progressing rather rapidly as the Gators eat yardage up on the ground.
John L. Williams. Slot with Neal in the slot, and now Anderson goes in motion to the right side as Bell gives off, and he is stacked up as he touches the football, and it would be Jesse Solomon making the hit on John L. Williams. So that's going to bring up 4th down in a kicking situation.
Nice job, Jesse Solomon from Madison, Florida. Saw that draw coming all the way, jumped right on John L. Williams in the backfield.
Ray Criswell, 2 punts this afternoon, averaging 44 yards per boot, waiting for the Kick again is Deion Sanders, number 2, who had such a fine run back the last time.
Low kick, too. He's got some room.
At the 45, across the midfield stripe, and now into Florida territory, and down at the 42-yard line goes Sanders, and bringing him down is Anthony Williams, a sophomore out of Tampa Plant High School. 3 minutes and 29 seconds to play in the first half.
Oh, this has got to be the best field position the Noles have had all afternoon.
Final score of last night's basketball game, 85, Florida State 66.
And so the Seminoles with the football now at the 42-yard line of Florida.
That was an uncharacteristic low kick by Criswell right there. Deion Sanders did a nice job just getting what he could get out of that punt return, giving his team great field position. There we see big Jamie Dukes, the All-American offensive guard that the Noles are so proud of. This young man started every game at Florida State from his freshman year, and that's a tremendous honor.
Looks like a penalty call coming up, most likely for a hold, the indication from the field. We're waiting on the call.
It looks like the Supreme Court debate out there on this one.
The jury is out. National Car Rental, the official car rental company of the Florida Gators. For reservations, call 1-800-CAR-RENT. That is 1-800-CAR-RENT. It is a hold call going against the Seminoles of Florida State. But now he marks off, takes the football back down inside the 20 to the 16-yard line, and will be marching it off. So that means that the football now moves to the 26-yard line. Criswell gets another shot at the kick after the hold. Florida opted to go ahead and take the penalty wisely and kick away again.
Right, it was a poor punt. The Noles had great field position. Evidently, one of the Noles grabbed a Gator and didn't let him escape down the field to cover on that punt. And the referees detected the violation, called the flag, so the Gators choose to punt again.
So there is Deion Sanders, number 2, waiting on the kick, and Ray Criswell from Orange Park will boot it away for Florida. Criswell gets off. I went off this time around. Deion drops way back and drops the football. It bounces in the air, and he goes across the 25 to the 27-yard line before he's brought down. And Reggie Corlew is down first to hit him for the Gators.
Well, you're talking about mistakes being key factors in ball games. That holding violation on the punt cost Florida State about 30 yards in field position.
56-yard boot by Mr. Criswell.
At least 30 yards in field position because of a holding violation on the punt team.
First and 10 at the 27 now for Florida State, and they're in their own territory. Chip Ferguson is the quarterback, and his give-off goes to the up back in the eye, Keith Ross, and Ross hits to about the 31 before he's brought down, and Arthur White, a sophomore linebacker from Frostproof, makes the tackle for the Gators. Bringing up second down with less than 3 minutes to play in the first half, and the Gators sit on that 14-0 lead.
Hard to believe, but right now the Noles have, I believe, less than 10 yards passing the ball. 4 yards passing the ball at this point late in the second quarter.
2nd and 6 at the 31-yard line. As Ferguson looks to throw, he's got the time and goes way long. It's going to be intercepted by the Florida Gators, and picking it off was Vernell Brown, number 4, right at the 23-yard line.
Senior Vernell Brown from Gainesville, Florida. We keep talking about that senior leadership and those seniors trying to come up with a big play. You see Chip Ferguson leaving the field, shaking his head. He just let the ball fly on him right there. He just put a little too much heat on it. Really overthrows badly his receiver. And Vernell Brown is playing center field out there. Comes up with a catch. Nice play, Vernell Brown.
Excellent play. So first down and 10 at the 25-yard line now for the Florida Gators as they come out of the huddle. That's Ray McDonald 9 splitting to the bottom of your screen. I formation. Kerwin Bell is the quarterback. And Bell fakes the reverse, looks long, and throws for Natil. He's got him at the 30. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, and he's in the end zone for the score. Ricky Nattiel, the young man from Newberry, Florida, having a great afternoon at Florida Field.
Look at the celebration.
Oh, yes. 20-0. 2:22 to play, first half.
All right, they're going to fake the reverse to Ray McDonough. All that fake does is get the secondary to take a peek in the backfield. When they take a peek, Ricky Nattiel blisters right by him. Warp speed, Ricky Nattiel, Ricky the Rocket.
Dawson with the attempt for the extra point. Criswell the holder. And the kick is good with the score, Florida 21, Seminoles nothing. Deep for FSU as Francis gets ready to move to the football. The Gators with a 21-0 lead. Booted way high, and Francis puts it almost into the seats.
I think he's pumped up. I think that Ricky Nattiel play even pumped up the kickoff man.
I'll tell you, the guy's got to be proud this afternoon is Jerry Anderson, because his special teams troops have been doing a great job. One play, 75 yards, 11 seconds. Ricky Nattiel's bomb from Kerwin Bell.
And it was on the money. It was perfectly thrown. Kerwin Bell took one step and delivered that football. What a strike. Look at the passing yards. 171 to 4. Florida, one of the best passing teams in the South, entering this ball game, and they continue to have great success in the air.
Chip Ferguson brings his offensive squad out of the huddle, 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Seminoles of Florida State. I formation now as Ferguson gives, and his give-off goes to Ross, and Ross is hit right as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Brought down by Alonzo Johnson. Galen Hall, the unflappable Galen Hall.
Well, again, we need to mention that the Seminoles coming into this ball game had 900 more yards rushing the football than the Gators did. But this afternoon, they're just not able to put that running attack to work. To this point, anyway. Only to this point.
2nd and 11 at the 19-yard line. Split backfield behind Ferguson, who again looks to throw. Flag on the play and whistles on the field. A lot of flags on the play. So
Mark Salva, the tackle, made some quick movements before the snap, and the illegal procedure on the Noles.
You called it, and that's the way it's going to go. And right now, let's go to the sideline and John Nugent.
Jim, the name of that touchdown play is 52 fake reverse. What Ricky Nattiel does is he fakes like he's going to block, takes off on the post pattern. It's the first time the Gators have used that play all year long, and it comes up for 6. Gentlemen?
They're 1-0 on that play then. It's 1,000 so far.
Well, that's the kind of play you save for your arch rival. That's the kind of play that gets that guy in the secondary to take that one quick peek into the backfield, and when he does that, it's too late. Ricky Nattiel is gone.
2nd and 15 at the 15. Ferguson under a lot of pressure. Dumps a quick safety valve to Wells, and Wells has run out of bounds on the far sideline before he gets to the 20 and about the 18 by Patrick Miller for the University of Florida. So Miller takes him out on the far side.
Well, the Gators are putting pressure on up front, and Bobby Bowden calls for the screen. One way to neutralize that pass rush when you're in a long yardage situation is to call the screen or draw. Wells does a nice job fighting along the sidelines. Now it's a more manageable 3rd and 12 for the Noles.
Good pursuit on that one too by Jeff Roth. 3rd and 12 at the 18-yard line now for the Florida State University Seminoles. The handoff goes to Ross. Ross off the right side, rips it across the 25 to the 26-yard line. A minute and 10 seconds to play in the first half. Gerald Dickens, a junior from Plant City, makes the hit for the Gators.
Now the Gators are going to call timeout with 1:12 left in the first half. They want to get a chance to get that football again, Jim Gallagher.
We'll be right back with the score, 21-0 Florida. FSU kicks, Berry boots it high. It will hit down and take a Florida bounce back and be downed at the 40-yard line. So the Gators, with 1:01 to play in the first half, have the football. And look at Albert the Alligator as he surrounds a couple of Seminoles and some Gator cheerleaders and some Seminole cheerleaders, showing a lot of good spirit between the two schools.
Well, it's amazing how your sense of humor decreases as the ball game progresses sometime, depending on what side of the line of scrimmage you're cheering for.
Gators 21, Seminoles nothing. First half at Florida Field.
And with a minute to go, will the Gators try and get back on the scoreboard? Will the Noles come up with a big turnover and maybe get a mental lift?
Kerwin Bell with a split backfield, and the Gators are going to go for the ball. They're going to go for a long gainer, and it is deep to Mateo, and he is brought down at the 15-yard line, inside the 15 at the 14.
He did catch the ball, and then he gave the ball up on a fumble, but he fumbled out of bounds, so the ball remains with the Florida Gators.
So 53 seconds to play in the first half, and the Gators have the football inside the 15-yard line of FSU.
Watch the pump fake. Now Ricky Nattil is leaving the sideline. He's sprinting down the sideline. He does make the reception. Now he's going to give the ball up on a fumble. He fumbles out of bounds. The last team to have possession keeps the ball, and the Gators had possession. So it is Florida possession inside the Nole 15-yard line.
First and 10 at the 14-yard line. Kerwin Bell.
What a strike. What a strike.
Ricky Nattil again, and Bell is looking for the end zone. He's got Nattil. Touchdown, Florida. Kerwin Bell gets Ricky Nattil on a perfect post. Off the left side and right into the end zone for another score. 48 seconds to play in the first half, and Florida up 27-0.
Freshman cornerback Deion Sanders is beaten to the inside by the junior from Newberry, Ricky Nattil. Ricky the Rocket Nattil just sprints to the post. Kerwin Bell delivers another strike. 6 points for the Gators. Hard to believe the Gators have been this awesome on offense.
Dawson is awesome, and the point is good. 28-0. We'll be right back after these messages. Yards, 2 plays, 13-second possession time for Florida. Scored 28-0. 48 seconds to play in the first half. Francis kicks off deep, and it goes again out of the end zone, kicks off to the FSU band in the end zone, and so the football comes out to the 20, and FSU, trailing by 4 touchdowns, gets possession. FSU offensively has shown themselves to be explosive this past year, but in this first half, they have not gotten on track. I'm sure Coach Bowden will make some adjustments at the half. Kerwin Bell having a great afternoon.
Well, you know the Noles are shell-shocked. You and I are shell-shocked. I cannot believe that the Gators have sprinted to a 28-0 lead here in the first half. This game was absolutely a toss-up before the opening kickoff, and the Gators have just taken complete control of the ball game here in the first half.
First and 10 at the 20. Chip Ferguson looks at the Gator defense, and Ferguson gives off to Keith Ross. Ross hit, stacked up at the 20. Arthur White, the inside linebacker, makes the hit. 43, young man from Frostproof.
Right now, the Gators have held the Noles to 62 yards in total offense. Watch the little draw action right here. Arthur White from Frostproof making the necktie, throwing Keith Ross to the turf. Second 10.
At the 20 seconds to play.
Necktie tackle. Did I say making a necktie?
Or whatever. Waiting for the snap is Ferguson. Dropping and being blitzed. Brought down behind the line. Sacked at the 17-yard line by Alonzo Johnson. And what a great final game he's having.
Great speed from the outside linebacker position. He just had the speed to get to the quarterback before he could find someone open, comes up with a sack. Look how wide he is out there. There's a lot of yards he has to make up before he can get to Ferguson, but he does come up with a sack.
28-0. The Florida Gators lead the Florida State Seminoles at the end of the first half. We'll be back with a halftime after these messages. With more on the Florida Gator Television Network after these messages. And coming into the football game, we talked about the fact that the Seminoles had such a dominant offense, and Florida's offense had not gotten on track for the last couple of games. And in this first half, the Gators have been simply awesome.
Shows you what kind of experts you and I are, right? The Gators have 28 points here in the first half. The Noles have none. And the Florida Florida State comes into this ball game averaging 35 points a ball game, averaging 415 yards total offense per game. The Gators hold them to 54 yards total offense. The Gators have 328 in total offense. Just a tremendous domination by the Gator offense, and also the Gator defense. The Gator defense is holding that strong Florida State attack to 54 yards. It's actually hard to believe that this has happened, but the Gators just completely dominated the Noles here in the first half.
Possession-wise, too, Florida's had a hold of the second half in just a little bit. Seminoles most likely will elect to receive. It is their choice here in the second half. Elect to receive in the second half because of the fact that they need to get points on the board. And we'd like to tell you that this telecast of Gator football is being seen by fans all over the state of Florida and the United States. No matter where you are, we'd like to hear from you. Send us a card or a letter with a self-addressed stamped envelope, and we'll send you a Gator bumper sticker and a Gator keychain. Your comments are also welcome. Send your card or letter to Gator Television Network, Post Office Box 14485, Gainesville, Florida 32604. And we'd like to thank each and every one of you who have written in to comment on our Gator telecast. It's been just certainly an enjoyable year for us to follow this fine football team, and they provided us with a lot of thrills and excitement throughout the year.
Well, Southeastern Conference football is terrific college football, and we have the privilege of watching every Saturday afternoon from the 50-yard line, getting the replays and such, and our production team does a super job from Channel 20 here in Gainesville.
They certainly do. Put some excellent pictures up there for us to talk about. And we've received mail from 27 different states, including Hawaii, and also gotten mail from Japan. So there are a lot of Gator fans around the country and around the world. John David Francis ready to boot the football off as we get ready to start the second half of play. He moves to it and kicks it high. And it's going to go way deep and will be taken by Keith Ross, number 20. And Ross will bring it out to the 20-yard line as the Florida State Seminoles get a shot at the football to begin the second half of play at Florida Field. They're trailing by 28 points as we begin this third quarter. Ferguson is 2 for 8 for 7 yards. He's been intercepted twice.
Well, we mentioned the Noles have used 4 different quarterbacks this year, but they're continuing with Chip Ferguson here at the beginning of the third quarter.
He's the freshman from Spartanburg, South Carolina at 6'1", 207. I formation being used by the Noles, receivers left and right. The pitch is going to go to Ross, who comes to the near side and is stacked up as he hits the line of scrimmage. Looked like it was Lewis Oliver that got him, the youngster from Belglade, and brought down there right at the line of scrimmage. So that brings up second down 10 at the 20 for the Seminoles.
Well, your strong safety a lot of times cheats up towards that line of scrimmage, and he has to have that linebacker personality on occasion to make that big hit, and Lewis Oliver did a nice job right there.
Chip Ferguson with the I formation again. Florida with the 3-down lineman trying to put the pressure on now. Ferguson drops the throw and does, and it is complete to Hassan Jones. First down at the 37-yard line. He's stuck by Curtis Stacy as he touches the football.
First catch of the afternoon for Hassan Jones, a great wide receiver for the Seminoles, in the mold of Weegee Thompson and Jesse the Jet Hester and Dennis McKinnon, who went on to play with the Chicago Bears, Ron Sellers, Fred Biletnikoff. The Noles have a history of great wide receivers.
First and 10 at the 37-yard line as Ferguson gives off to Cletus Jones, and Jones gets a couple of yards to the 42. Keith Williams brings him down. Yes, that's true. They've had a lot of great pitchers and catchers up there in Tallahassee. Quarterbacks like Gary Padgett, Kim Hammond, Steve Tensey, Jimmy Jordan, Wally Woodham. They've gone through 4 this year.
Well, they need to have
emerging.
That's right, Jim. They need to have some success right now with this offensive series. They need to reestablish some confidence on their side of the line of scrimmage. Right now, the Gators have all the confidence.
Second and 5 at the 42-yard line. And Ferguson rolls on the quarterback keeper, then pitches to Ross, who is driven out of bounds at the 39-yard line behind the line of scrimmage. The freshman from Newberry is hit and bounced out. So now that brings up 3rd down and 7 on the 40. Well, Jim, it looks like Neil Anderson and Alonzo Johnson are in strong running for my vote as the Mid-State Federal Player of the game.
How about Ricky Nattiel and Kerwin Bell? There's a lot of stars out there this afternoon.
3rd and 7 at the 40-yard line for FSU. Split backfield as Ferguson drops the throw. He's under some pressure and throws out there in the flat, and it is complete. Bounced out of bounds at the 44 is Victor Floyd, the tailback, coming out of the backfield. Patrick Miller takes him out, and so that is going to bring up the 4th down and call it 3 at the 44, and the Noles will have to kick away.
Alonzo Johnson rushing untouched from his linebacker position, putting some pressure on the quarterback, Ferguson. And again, the Noles are forced to punt. You know, they wanted to get something established on their first offensive series, and they just weren't able to come up with any consistency on this particular drive.
Ricky Nattiel, 2 touchdowns to his credit this afternoon. Lewis Berry, fine punting average today, right in the 50-yard vicinity as he kicks it up high. And Nattiel calls for the fair catch at the 17-yard line. So the Gators take over the football offensively here in the 3rd quarter. 12:26 to play, and they lead by a score of 28-0 over the Seminoles of Florida State.
Lewis Berry really boomed that one. Ricky Nattiel forced to make the fair catch. A nice job by the Seminole punter. The Gators are inside their 20. They haven't had bad field position all day, hardly at all, and right now they are back close to their goal line inside their 20.
10 for 12 for 233 yards for Kerwin Bell. First and 10 at the 17. And the give-off goes to Anderson, turning outside and goes out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Garth Jacks, the outside linebacker, takes him out.
Well, we just saw a graphic a moment ago. Kerwin Bell has tied Steve Spurrier for career touchdown passes at 36, and I had the great privilege of playing with Steve Spurrier, and I know it's got to be a lot of fun for a receiver to be playing with Kerwin Bell.
It does. Steve Spurrier, one of the great winners of all time in college football. In the first half, 17 tries for Neil Anderson, and as you can see, he's got 83 yards. The give-off now goes to John L. Williams, and Williams across the 25 to the 26. We've got a flag on the play. Fred Jones, a strong linebacker, brings him down for FSU. Steve Spurrier, we might mention, has gone on to become one of the outstanding young coaches in professional football. The hold is going to go against the University of Florida, and it will be marched off. They take the football back to the 11-yard line. Goes back to the 11-yard line. So Florida is set back some for that holding call.
Well, as far as the defense is concerned, that's just like a sack behind the line of scrimmage. They got to get themselves emotionally up right now. We were talking about the Noles being out of the ball game emotionally. Here they have the Gators backed up, and they do have a chance to get something done.
High formation being used by Florida right now as Bell looks at the FSU defense, and he gives off on the delayed draw to Neil Anderson, who stacked up after a short gain on the play by Fred Jones. 11 minutes and 50 seconds to play, 3rd quarter. The Gators 28, FSU nothing.
Now the Gators were hoping right there that the Noles were coming out of control and blitzing, and they would sneak the tailback by him on the draw, but it just didn't happen. The Noles tripping up Neil Anderson. Now it's 3rd and long. Let's see what the Noles do in terms of their pass rush, if they have an all-out blitz or if they sit back in coverage.
3rd and 15 at the 13-yard line. Split backfield behind Kerwin Bell. As Bell looks, being pressured, throws a quick pass out to his tight end, Rodney Jones, 87, and I'm sure he was about the 4th receiver on the play because Kerwin was looking long first and then flipped it out. So it goes to the 15-yard line. 1-yard gain brings up 4th down, and Criswell comes on to kick.
Kerwin did a nice job of not giving up the sack right there, dumping the ball off, and even though it didn't accomplish much, they weren't in a losing yardage situation by dumping the ball off to the safety valve.
Waiting on the snap now is Criswell, standing at the goal line. And he gets a nice one off. It's going to be taken down by Sanders at the 42. He's at the 45. He's across the midfield stripe. That's back at the 40. And he's got some room. And he's at the 20. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5. And he's in the end zone for the score. But there is a flag on the play at the 15.
Just tremendous athletic ability by Deion Sanders. I don't think anyone ever got more than an arm on him. That's the lift the Noles were looking for. Illegal procedure against the Gators is declined. The Noles have a big play by Deion Sanders, the freshman from North Fort Myers, Florida. Watch the cutback right here. Now he's in a wall of Seminole blockers. Cuts back again. Lewis Oliver missing on the tackle. Now Criswell is the last player there. And he doesn't have a chance because he gets blocked. Just a fantastic play by Deion Sanders.
So that gets FSU on the board, and the Seminoles have 6 points. It's 28-6. Derek Schmidt will attempt the extra point. Kirk Coker will hold. Waiting for the snap is Coker. Schmidt moves to it and boots it, and it is good. With the score, the Gators 28, FSU 7. We'll be right back.
He didn't have the return set up. They were going for the block. Deion Sanders was all alone. Once he broke that first wall of coverage that the Gators sent down, he was gone, and then he did some dancy doodles.
Schmidt kicks off deep, and it will go out of the end zone, and so the Gators will take over the football, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Let's go right now to the sidelines and John Nugent for this report.
Chairman, halftime, Galen Hall was asked if in that first half that was the best 30 minutes of football his team has ever played. He didn't say yes, but his smile kind of told it all. He gives a lot of credit to the off week for the Gators-inspired play today, and the only thing he's going to ask his club at halftime is just give him 30 more minutes, and they can retire this season as winners. Gentlemen.
Thanks, John. 28-7. The Gators lead it. FSU has just scored.
They've scored, and they got some respect back. They got some emotion back in the game on their side of the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10 at the 20. Neil Anderson with a carry to the 22-yard line, brought down by Fred Jones for FSU.
When you're playing your big rival, you got to have that emotion. You really do have to have it on your side, and the Noles have been lacking that in the first half, and they come out. Deion Sanders has given them a reason to get excited again. The Seminole fans are cheering again. Right now is a big series for the Gators and the Noles.
Ricky Nattiel splits to the left, 89, now out of your screen. And Frankie Neal, 21, to the top as Kerwin Bell looks, throws out there to Nattiel, and Nattiel's inside across the 30 and to the 33-yard line before he's brought down by FSU's defense, and Paul McGowan brings him down along with Greg Newell.
Well, they're just going to take advantage of the cushion that Ricky Nattiel has from the cornerback, Eric Williams, and it's a quick 7 yards for the Gators.
1st and 10 at the 32 now for the Florida Gators. Wickman left and Neil right receiver-wise for Florida.
When you have that great speed that Ricky Nattiel does, a defensive back naturally is going to back off on him once in a while. Look at that, 4 catches, 86 yards. When they do that, you come right back to him on the short routes.
So the crowd is really getting into it here at Florida Field this afternoon. The final regular season game of the year for FSU, the final game of the year for the University of Florida. FSU 8-2 coming in, Florida 8-1-1. Here they come now on 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. I formation. Give off going to Anderson, and Anderson to the 35-yard line before he is brought down by Fred Jones.
Well, I sound like a broken record all the time, but I cannot compliment John L. Williams enough. He just is a tremendous blocker. Right there, he enabled his tailback to get at least a couple of yards that weren't there without his block. Neil Anderson, I know, appreciates the work of John L. Williams. You see John L. moving the defender back, giving Neil Anderson a little bit of room out there.
20 carries for 92 yards. He's got 1,000 yards this season. the leading rusher in the University of Florida history. Kerwin Bell looks, throws a quick one out there to John L. Williams. He's swarmed under behind the line of scrimmage. Brought down way behind the line. It's Garth Jacks taking him down along with Fred Jones.
Kerwin did not see the pressure coming from Jones and Jacks right there, and they made a great play in the backfield.
And so that brings up third down for the Florida Gators with the ball at the 28-yard line.
Kerwin Bell had hoped to go downfield on that play, but the receivers weren't there, so he made the dump off, but the Noles were all over. John L. Williams.
Anthony Williams, 36, is the up back right now. They go with a slot offense, and Kerwin is dropping, looking to throw. He's going long for Frankie Neal. Almost. A little overthrown. I'll tell you, Neal had the coverage beat pretty well. Deion Sanders was back there, and had that been thrown just a little shorter, it would have been another touchdown for Florida.
Yeah, Deion Sanders is having a talk with his strong safety, Greg Newell, about giving him some help in the middle. Frankie Natil did have the step, and the cornerback is looking for some help from his safety right there. The ball was just overthrown a shade. Frankie Neal would have had 6.
4th and 15 at the 28-yard line as Criswell kicks. And he gets off a high one and booms it. And Deion Sanders takes it down at the 18. He's at the 20. And a lot of orange shirts down there, and they take him down at the 25. So a short return that time as the Florida special teams comes right down and takes him down.
Oh, he is dangerous, isn't he? You can tell that if he gets just a bit of an opening, he's going to be gone. Deion Sanders, number 2.
He's returned 4 punts for 108 yards and 1 touchdown this year.
And he's just learning to play that cornerback position. He's a freshman. Ricky Natil and Frankie Neal are giving him some lessons out there this afternoon, but that young man has tremendous ability.
Credit Walter Bird, the snapper, with the tackle on that one. 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. The I formation now being used by FSU. The pitch is going now to Victor Floyd, trying to turn to the left side, and he is hit as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Florida diagnoses that, and Ron Moten, the junior outside linebacker from Clearwater, makes the tackle for the Gators.
Now the Noles like to get the ball to the tailback. They like to get him around the corner, but the linebackers for the Gators are just playing that corner real tough right now, and they're not allowing that Seminole tailback to get outside.
7 minutes and 18 seconds to play in the third quarter. The Gators 28 and the Seminoles 7. Up over the football is the center, Parrish Barwick, and the snap goes to Ferguson, who's looking for somebody out there, and it is caught, but stuck right away at the 30-yard line is the tight end Pete Panton, and Lewis Oliver from Belglade makes the tackle.
Panton, the tight end from Venice, Florida, makes a nice reception right there. Chip Ferguson had plenty of time to look his receivers over, and the tight end was probably his second selection.
3rd and 5 with the ball on the 30-yard line. For FSU, they're in their own territory. Ferguson 5 for 11 for 32 yards this afternoon. The Gator defense has contained the young man from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Throws out into the flat, and it is complete to the 35-yard line, close to a first down to Victor Floyd, the tailback coming out of the background. Win the 1986 Sonny's Fightin' Gator truck. All you have to do is fill out the entry form available at participating Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue locations. No purchase necessary. Contest ends December 1st. The customized orange and blue 86 Ford Ranger could be yours.
Victor Floyd almost makes the mistake of not getting enough yardage on his pass route to make that first down, but he just got it by about an inch. The Noles picking up a first down. Again, getting back to that momentum factor, that confidence factor. Right now, the Seminoles are getting a little bit more confidence with their offensive attack.
They're at the 35-yard line. Florida with the 3 down linemen. The linebackers right in the gaps. The give-off is going to go to Victor Floyd. Tries it off the left side. Swarmed under by the right side of the Gator defensive line. First guy there, the right corner man, Jarvis Williams, the sophomore from Palatka.
Well, you're looking at one of the best defenses in the nation. The Southeastern Conference is one of the strongest football conferences in the country, and the Florida Gators lead that conference in total defense.
Let's go to John Nugent for this injury report.
Jim, bad news for the Gators. Ricky Knight is out for the remainder of this ball game. A broken right wrist. Lewis Oliver is in there now. Tough way to end the season. Gentlemen.
Yes, it is, John, and thank you for that fine report from the sideline. 2nd and 8 at the 37 for FSU. Ferguson looks and goes long over the top looking for Hassan Jones, and he's got a completion at the 20-yard line. A sensational catch by Jones, and Lewis Oliver was the guy that's just gone into the game, and they picked on him.
Well, they weren't really picking on Lewis Oliver. He makes the saving play. They run a little fake option, make the pump fake, and then Hassan Jones sprints down the sideline. See, he's beat Jarvis Williams. Lewis Oliver's coming over to help. Jarvis Williams was peeking in the backfield. The problem that the Knoll defense had a little earlier, peeking in the backfield. Then they send him down the field deep, and he was wide open. Lewis Oliver made a saving tackle.
1st and 10 at the 20. That was a 43-yard catch by Jones. Ferguson again looks to go to the air. He's got the time to throw, and he's complete inside the 5 to the 4 to Darren Holloman. A sophomore from Tallahassee. Vernell Brown makes the tackle for Florida.
Little fake pitch to the tailback. Derek Holloman was open all along on the inside. Ferguson was just waiting for him to get open a little bit wider, and Vernell Brown was standing right there to make the tackle, but the Knolls are on a roll.
1st and goal at the 4. 4 minutes and 32 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. The Gators sitting on a 28-7 lead. Florida State knocking on the Gators' door, threatening here in the 3rd quarter. Ferguson, chance to signals. The Gators up front. And Ferguson hangs on, runs it in himself. Touchdown FSU. The Seminoles have 13 points on the board.
Just a great fake by Chip Ferguson to his fullback, Cletus Jones, and he walks into the end zone untouched. Watch this fake. The Gators are expecting the dive. Here comes the option. There's no one there. He reversed out, faked the handoff, and then just walked into the end zone.
28-13 the score as Schmidt goes for the extra point. Kirk Coker will hold. Waiting for the snap is Coker. Schmidt boots it, and it is good. With the score, the Gators 28, FSU 14. We'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome to
Hard line. As Kerwin Bell waits for the snap with the I formation. Fakes the handoff and goes, and he's going for Frankie Neal. He's got him! Neal at the 40, the 35. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, and he's in the end zone for the score. Touchdown, Florida. Tracy Sanders ran him down from behind, but Frankie Neal on the long touchdown bomb from Kerwin Bell. It was 2nd and 12 at the 18-yard line.
At first glance, I thought Frankie Neal was hot-dogging a little bit there on the 10-yard line, but actually pulled a hamstring. Watch Kerwin Bell deliver another awesome strike. At least 40 yards on the fly. Frankie Neal has beaten the linebacker who was covering him. Now watch him. He's going to be pulling a hamstring here at about the 10-yard line. I thought he was penalizing or teasing the defensive back, but he was hurt. Just a brilliant play by Frankie Neal from Okeechobee, Florida.
And so now they try for the extra point, and Florida leads 34-14.
Is that exciting or what?
That is exciting.
My goodness.
Frankie's had 2 catches this afternoon for 109 yards.
Well, those wide receivers work so hard to get open, and when they have a talented quarterback like Kerwin Bell who can hit them on the button, you know they're excited about running every pass route.
Waiting for the snap will be Criswell, the holder. Dawson will be the kicker. Bird, the snapper. And it is right down the middle and good. And the Florida Gators lead by a score of 35-14 with 3 minutes and 33 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. So Florida reached right back and found it. Ball spotted down at the 39-yard line as Kerwin Bell goes with a slot offense to his left side. The give off on the delayed draw goes to John L. Williams, and he's stacked up real hard. Gerald Nichols, the right tackle, makes the stop on the big senior from Palatka. As we go to the sidelines, John Nugent and this report.
Jim, Frankie Neal's scoring play is called 52Z4. He runs out about 10 yards and is supposed to hook. but instead, because Florida State was playing man-to-man, he flew and Kerwin hit him. Also, Frankie has re-injured his hamstring. We probably won't see him the rest of the afternoon. Gentlemen?
Ray Criswell is going to boot for the Florida Gators on 4th down, and it'll be bouncing down inside the 20 and blown dead at the 19-yard line. Sanders was the return man. Criswell really got that up high and